Well, let's start the news from the U.S. and its decision, because for thousands of Ghanaians dreaming of a new life in the United States, the wait just got longer and more uncertain. The U.S. government under President Donald Trump has suspended the processing of immigrant visas for applicants from 75 countries, a sweeping decision that is already sending shockwaves through immigrant communities across Ghana. The pause announced by a State Department spokesperson on Wednesday takes effect January 21, and it affects immigrant visas applicants from countries including Ghana, Nigeria, Somalia, Afghanistan, Iran, Yemen, Russia, Brazil, and several others. Non-immigration visas like temporary tourist visas or business visas will not be affected. U.S. officials say the decision is part of a broader immigration crackdown. According to Principal Deputy Spokesperson of the State Department, Tommy Pigott, the suspension will allow Washington to reassess immigration procedures and block applicants deemed likely to rely on public welfare. The latest action follows Trump's November pledge to, quote and unquote, permanently pause migration from what he described as third world countries after shooting near the White House involving an Afghan national. Well, the much-touted Women's Development Bank is expected to take off. As the government of Ghana has reviewed, the bank will be launched by the end of this year under the office of the Vice President. Speaking at the Government Accountability Series on Wednesday, Minister in charge of Government Communications, Felix Kwachi Ofosu, reviewed a robust 401 million cedis allocation in the 2026 budget has been set to fuel its operationalization in a move to support women who form the nation's backbone, turning capital into family prosperity and easing deep economic pressures.
2026 budget, 401 million Ghana cedis has also been allocated. I can assure you that under the auspices of the Vice President, work on the Women's Development Bank has gone really far, and in all likelihood this year it will be rolled out, given that the majority of our population is made up of women, and women have proven themselves to be very entrepreneurial and enterprising and are able to turn around capital for the betterment of the families. It is something that will go a long way to help address the economic concerns of Ghanaian women. So we look forward to doing this as expeditiously as possible.
Away from that, the Ministry of Education has announced plans to produce 12 million sanitary pads annually through the Ghana Prison Service to support schoolgirls across the country. The initiative, sealed with a memorandum of understanding between the Ministries of Education, Interior, and the Ghana Prison Service, aims to improve access to sanitary products in public schools while creating skills and employment opportunities for inmates. The following report has more.
Speaking at an MOU event to seal the agreement, Education Minister Haruna Iddrisu says the program will address menstrual hygiene challenges, boost local production, and reduce reliance on imports.
Today, we are looking at the production of sanitary pads. It is possible for one, subject to Ghana's procurement laws, it's possible for one of the manufacturers or producers to situate the productive entity within the prisons and to use the labor and skills of prisoners to get this out. We are doing 12 million. Total quantity of sanitary pads supplied for 2025 will be in the region of 12 million and more. And probably scaling up to about 15 and 20 million. We definitely will find some budget line to support the Ghana prisons to undertake the production of the sanitary pads. So into 2026, we will be mindful and guided by this memorandum of understanding when we are undertaking the procurement.
The Interior Minister says the initiative will enable inmates to earn income, acquire employable skills, and support their reintegration into society after serving their sentences.
Idling in the prison creates a lot of problems for inmates. So people no longer idle. And to be able to qualify to get to work, you have to be disciplined. So people who comport themselves so they can get opportunity to work. Two, they get skills. So they are in there incarcerated, yet through this training and this opportunity, they get skills. And by the time they are out of incarceration, they have some skills in their hand. Three, they make income because state feeds you. So whatever allowances or payment or wages that are given them is saved for them so that when they leave, it becomes a set of capital for them. And lastly, we intend to the community service bill, which is being laid before Parliament very soon, to make sure that if you comport yourself and work in the industry within the prison for 9 months, your prison for 1 year, your prison sentence is reduced by 3 months. So that instead of 1 year, you do 9 months. So all this combined is going to change the face of incarceration in our country. And we hope that other ministries will emulate the example of the Ministry of Education and come partner us so that we will have the opportunity to change the system of incarceration in our country.
Director General of Prisons, Patience Bafo-Boni, describes the program as a game changer, noting it will transform prisons into centers of productivity.
And a game changer as far as the Ghana Prison Service is concerned. In the days past, the perception that the Ghana Prison Service was just there, locking up inmates and releasing them to the community when it became necessary. But today, the opportunity has come for the Ghana Prison Service to make itself relevant in the scale of production and making the Ghana Prison Service very useful. And in doing so, we are going to rely on the inmates who will be taken through the skilled training. And in this particular case, the emphasis is going to be on managing machines in the sanitary pad production, tailoring in the area of sewing the uniforms, and carpentry in the production of furniture.
Officials say production is expected to begin soon and will help reduce period poverty, improve school attendance among girls, and support inmate rehabilitation. Ramat Bashir for Joy News.
Well, education and healthcare delivery in the Ekofi district are set for a significant boost following a sword cutting ceremony for the construction of 2 CHIPS compounds at Asokwa and Ekoti, along with a 6-unit classroom block for Abor Methodist School. Member of Parliament Dr. Othniel Ekwo-Kwaino said the project formed part of effort to expand access to essential social services and bring quality healthcare and education closer to residents.
The Member of Parliament for Ekumfi, together with the District Chief Executive, broke ground for the construction of CHIPS compounds at Asokwa and Ekoti, as well as a 6-unit classroom block for the Aburuk Basic School. The District Chief Executive for Ekumfi, Ismail Nana Samoa, underscored the importance of the intervention, noting that it will significantly improve teaching and learning in the Abur community.
The 6 classroom units block that the MP and myself commissioned at Ekumfi Abur was strategically allocated because when you go to Abur right now, you realize that the students are really learning in a very, very, very deplorable structure, which I don't think really befits the advancement of any good education in the area. And so I'm happy today the chiefs are smiling, the community is smiling because they've gotten a new 6 classroom units block. And I intimated the contractor is being instructed to follow the plan as laid down by the Works Department. And we are all going to make sure we monitor the structure. And as I told you before, it's not going to be business as usual, that contractors will just come present certificates and will go ahead and pay. No.
For his part, The Member of Parliament for Ekumfi, Dr. Othniel Eko-Kwenu, expressed satisfaction at being able to contribute to improved healthcare delivery in the area.
We cut the sword for the construction of a CHIP compound. In fact, that has been one of the very, very needed facilities that this community has been asking for, because they've had many casualties on the health front. Therefore, bringing it here remains very ideal and also satisfies the need of the communities involved. I, as MP, have always indicated to them that, look, we will do what is necessary, but we will not just play politics with everything. And I'm happy that the President's vision of resetting this country is also having its role done very well in the Kumfi constituency, for that matter. My party executives are very supportive of what I've done so far, which for me remains a very key aspect of the work that we do.
The Kumfi District Director of Health, Dr. Regina Hunuama, also indicated that the two CHIPS compounds will play a key role in strengthening primary healthcare services in the beneficiary communities.
Today, it is a sigh of relief for us as Health Directorate to have these communities having the opportunity to get access to healthcare. We are bridging the geographical accessibility that hitherto they did not have. And so we welcome these projects wholeheartedly, and we hope that it would be completed in due time with good quality, so that the people of Asokwa, Abaka, Bojano, Ekoti would benefit from these CHIPS compounds.
From Ekumfi, Abigail Lisol Nkrumah reports for Joy News.
Now, founder and chair of trustees of Little Angels Trust, Dame Lavinia Enim, has called on benevolent individuals and organizations to support vulnerable groups, particularly children in need of critical medical care. Speaking during a visit to children on admission at the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital, Metropolitan Hospital, she stressed the urgent need for collective effort to improve the lives of underprivileged children across the country.
Little Angels Trust is a non-governmental organization advocating for the well-being and development of children. During a visit and presentation of items to sick children at the Cape Coast Metropolitan Hospital, the founder and chair of trustees for Little Angels Trust, Dame Lavinia Enim, emphasized that serving underprivileged and deprived children are of topmost importance.
So Little Angels Trust is all about children. We believe children are the legacy that we're going to leave behind, especially the most vulnerable children in our communities and societies, which are sick children, and especially terminally, seriously ill children like cancer, mental health disease. We started talking about autism when we didn't even know how to spell that word, autism. So that is why we are so fired to make an impact and keep spreading more awareness that there are children out there who need our help for a healthy generation who will come after us.
She also appealed to people to extend generous hands to the vulnerable in society, especially children.
I'm pleading with everyone. Anyone can be kind and generous. You don't have to give too much. Spread a smile. I mean, you saw the balloons and the magic it works in these children's faces. You see a child who can't breathe, but then give them a balloon and it gives them so much joy and cheer. How much is a balloon? But if a parent can't afford bread, how can they even afford a balloon for that child? We need more people to get on board. We need everyone to do something and spread kindness.
Expressing his happiness at the donation, the acting medical superintendent of the hospital, Dr. Vincent Kudo, called the gesture a significant step in his effort to transform the hospital's current state.
I thank God honestly for having guests who have visited from Little Angels Trust. They've come all the way from UK to donate several items to the children on admission Cape Coast Metro Hospital today. I'm happy to have them I wish they would be able to settle and visit us more often. This is symbolic in the sense that I spoke about turning the hospital around. This is the first group that has come to donate to me, and there's no way I'll not cherish this. It is my hope that in future more organizations will join in doing so, in helping Ghanaians, including some of us who have to now become advocates and give back to society whatever we've gained.
From Cape Coast, Abigail Lesel Nkrumah reports for Joy News.
Well, the National Democratic Congress has honored party executives, campaigners, and grassroots supporters who secured the party's historic parliamentary victory in Dom Kwabenya constituency during the 2024 general elections. The recognition and award ceremony brought together by party leaders, MPs, traditional authorities, and stakeholders to celebrate a turning point in the constituency's political history. Here is Mrs. Faustina Eliklim Akurugu, Member of Parliament for Dom Kwabenya.
The theme of the day: 20 years, one moment, the dawn of change, embodies our collective journey. For 20 years, our constituency yearned for leadership that truly understood the struggles of the people. Many lost hope, others grew tired, but a few remained steadfast, organizing, mobilizing, defending the truth, and believing in that change that will come. That hope got its reward. In one decisive moment, the moment of the people of Dom Kwabenya stood up with one voice and chose as the path of victory. It has been through sleepless nights, engaging people from door to door, house to house, keeping watch at police stations, and showing commitment of the loyal comrades who are here tonight. You are the ones who made the history. Hence, this award ceremony is all about you, the campaigners, polling agents, coordinators, volunteers, opinion leaders, youth mobilizers, women organizers, and silent supporters who stood firm and focused when it was difficult and when the odds were against us.
The Federation of Association of Ghanaian Exporters, FAGE, says it stands ready to take advantage of the 3-year extension of the African Growth and Opportunity Act by the U.S. government to produce more, add value, and export to the global market. According to the president of FAGE, Davis Kobo, its members are positioning themselves to leverage the extension deal to stay globally competitive. He spoke to Joy Business.
Also, as a country independently, we have a policy, the 24 economy, the Ghana economic growth enclave seeks to expand markets. And with all this, continuously exporters need to produce and look for alternative markets. So if AGWA has been extended for 3 years, and like I heard Mr. Benson talking about apparel and garments, which is very true. And we are just going to take advantage of this and make sure that we continuously produce, add value, and export. Because if you look at the entire world, if you look at where Ghana is positioned, I think that 6 hours to Europe, we are there. And for us, if you take direct flight to the US, 12 hours maximum in Dallas. So it tells you that it is a big opportunity for us and for us who are exporting to take advantage of it.
Well, the Ghana Export-Import Bank has launched the GEXIM at 10 International Conference, a high-level forum aimed at reviewing a decade of export trade and industrial transformation. The launch is aimed at resetting the bank's strategy to drive Ghana's next phase of export-led growth. There is more in this report.
The Ghana EXIM Bank has launched the GEXIM at 10 International Conference under the theme, A Decade of Enabling Export Trade and Industrial Transformation, Resetting GEXIM for the Next Frontier. Speaking at the launch, the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana EXIM Bank, Sylvester Mensah, outlined expectations for the conference, describing it as a critical platform to review the bank's impact.
10 years signifies maturity, and of course 10 years GEXIM has achieved a lot, but a lot more can be achieved when policies and other realignments are taken a little more serious. Essentially, intended GEXIM conference, which is part of activities marking the 10th anniversary. It's also intended to generate a lot more ideas that will feed into our new strategic priorities, our new strategic plan. And so it's going to be an open session where we would have the benefit of best practice from sister EXIM banks and other development banks. We are also inviting leading speakers on SME businesses, on financing, on a host of others, blended finance, AI, and its introduction and support for effective management of SMEs and a host of others.
Meanwhile, the chairman of the Ghana EXIM Bank, Dr. Joseph Nyakote Dor, expressed optimism about Ghana's export prospects.
The 10th anniversary is a new chapter where we're going to now exhibit what we have done and also tell the whole country and the whole world what EXIM is all about and what Ghana EXIM is going to do. We want Ghana to be the focus and the frontier for export-led goods in the world. And so we've positioned ourselves in such a way that we're going to make sure that we export more, we build capacity, and also be focused on certain strategic areas, and that will help the country to be known and to be seen as a country for certain projects. For EXIM, we are focusing on poultry, rice, and garment and apparel.
The conference will host the President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, as a special guest of honor. Other dignitaries expected include the Minister for Trade and Agribusiness, Elizabeth Ofosu-Jare, and the Chief Executive of the Ghana EXIM Bank. The two-day event is scheduled to take place from March 25th to March 26, 2026 in Accra.
Well, let's wrap up the business update with what's happening on the commodities market. But that will wrap up the AM news for us, and then after, we'll bring you the AM sports.